Hi everyone, and welcome to Discolor and Chat. Today I got myself a new coloring book bought on Amazon. When I did my most recent coloring book collection videos, I rediscovered a Chinese coloring book that was filled with anime and some chibi characters. And suddenly my love for manga was waking up again, and since I love the books published by the Julia Rivers company, I decided to buy this one. So it came in the mail today. I will show you the back, two little pictures. It came in the mail today, and of course I wanted to pick something and start coloring. With most of the pictures, the one I've chosen, it's quite good visible what is happening. Let me show you. I already colored some tiny details. Some bubbles I did already. I've used my Crayola pencils on it, but they are way too hard to work with this paper. So it's very intense putting down colors, so I decided I wanted some other brand to work with. And since I'm always using my Prismacolor pencils or my Polychromos, I decided to grab my Irojiten pencils again. Also quite hard leaded pencils, but I like their colors. I've never colored a human or a human figure with Irojiten pencils. I mean the skin, clothing or hair. Maybe I have used Irojitens, but definitely not on skin, so that's a challenge. I've picked my skin colors already, so we'll see how it goes. The picture is quite small, so a hard-leaded pencil is not too bad. I don't think Prismacolors would be easy on these small details of her arms. So I have my swatches here with me because I keep my Irojitens still in their little cases, and so they are in the order like they were shipped. So in every box you have a blue or a pink, so I definitely need my swatches to see in which shed which blue or which pink or which green is situated. The other reason I don't use my Irojitens that much is because of this. And that's not because I've used it a lot, it's because of breakage. I don't know if it's quite visible. I will try to focus on that point. Let me see if it's... Yeah. It's not a sturdy point, it's with humps and bumps. And I don't know how that's... what's causing it. It's definitely not my sharpener, because I use my sharpener on the Polychromos and on my other pencils, and I don't have that issue. Did I also had one? Yes. It's also visible on these two. Yes, on these three. Oh, the purple is quite okay, but you can see it also on these three. These points are really bumpy, and I contacted the Irojiten company. It was an office in Germany, but they weren't very helpful. They advised me to send me the pencils that were infected or bad, but and they would send me replacements. But the shipping cost from Belgium to Germany is enormously, it's insane, and I couldn't take the risk sending them back and putting down a lot of money when I was not guaranteed that the new ones wouldn't be the same, that I didn't want to pay double for maybe the same problem. So I didn't make any steps again, but that's also a reason why I don't use them very often. It's quite annoying every time you sharpen them that they are looking so bad, and that you even end up with this mini one without even coloring a lot of things in it, a lot of things with it, to say it properly. But okay, that's the Irojiten story. I'm going to set up the camera a bit different. I hope my video editor, it's a very simple one on my phone, will give a good angle. But to make sure, I'm going to stop this video and make a separate one with a new camera angle, so that I maybe can play around with the video editor so that the picture is good visible for you. See you in a minute. So here we are again. You see the little leg of my tripod, but you get a good vision of my girl, and I can color it in an easy way for me. So we will see how it will work out. To start with, now that I have this mini pencil with me, I can color her eyes in already. It's a good feeling on the paper, so I hope all the rest will work out too. I'm just going to put a light layer of this color on her skin. Normally I don't put a light layer on, I immediately start to border everything. But since I'm not used to the Irojiten pencils when I'm doing skin tones, I think it's better to do a base layer of a light color. I hope it's visible on camera. It's hardly visible for me too, that first layer, but it will become more obvious when I'm starting to do my contouring for the shading and the shadows. So I really would like to thank you all for joining my channel and for being so great in all your responses. On all the videos I had lovely comments, on my how I do videos, on my coloring book collection videos, and also on my first color in chat. That was very nice. Many people took quite a time to write a very big answer or a detailed answer, so that was very nice. Thank you very much. And it was nice to hear or to read how people react differently towards coloring. There was one person that mentioned, I'm now going in with the second, sorry, I'm rambling, but I will tell you, for the people who have the Irojitens, the base layer I did with Ecru. That's the very pale tone 3 set. And now the second layer will be cork, and I think the LG is the light gray tones set too. Oops, I was not in on camera. So I was saying that there was someone that answered that when she opened the book, she started coloring the pages in order, or that she wouldn't feel comfortable otherwise. It was very interesting to read that, because I'm the opposite. I would stress out by being forced to do that first page, especially if I'm not feeling it. then I absolutely can't color it. I will block and my mojo will get lost, and it's no, I wouldn't get the result that I would like to have. And but it's great that people can do that, and I'm sure, and please, everyone must do what they feel like they must do, or what works best for them. But for me, it's not the case. It can be the first picture I color in a book, if that's the one that's appealing to me the most. But most of the time, I'll pick something further up, or I don't know how you say it exactly. So now I'm leaving a tiny bit of the first layer. I really hope it's a bit visible, otherwise I will have to try with my fake light, but I don't think that will work too great. I'm leaving a bit of space of the lightest color pale, and I only color the parts where I think most of the shadows will be. But I'm going in with some other colors too, so it will be more obvious. I'm quite pleased with the Irojitens on this paper. They're definitely more applicable or more relaxing to work with than the Crayola ones. I have the 100 set of the Crayola pencils, and I've worked in some books with them already, like the Hannah Carlson books. But on this paper, it really was hard. And coloring must, especially after work, it must be a relaxing hobby, and not one that makes you tired. So, but I really wanted to give some of my other pencil sets a new try out, or a new workout, because my Prismacolors and my Polychromos are the only ones that I grab at, and that's not always necessary. I have some other brands too, and they can have their own attention also. So now I'm going in with, let me see, cedar wood. That's DL1. DL. I'm going to look on my swatches. DL is dull tone, the dull tones one, box 1 of the dull tones. It's volume 9. I've written down here. Yes, it's in volume 9. This one. So this one is, I think, a bit comparable to the henna one in the Prismacolor set, and the sanguine, or I don't know how you pronounce it in English, of the Polychromos, a bit reddish, a bit orangey. That will pop up the skin color a bit, give it some more vivid look. And again, I'm not coloring everything. I'm leaving a lighter area just to make it look like there's light falling from some corner. I know I'm not I'm probably making mistakes with my light source and my shadows, but I try not to worry about it as long as I'm having fun, and think that I have a light source, it's okay. It doesn't have to be mathematically right. Or of course, if you are a natural or you have the talent to really see which light and shadow source is correct. I wish I had that too, but I haven't, and it's okay with me like I do it now. So I'm really glad that I've ordered this book. It's something different from what I have. Do I have another? Yes, I have from the Coloring Heaven magazines. I've got the anime special, and then that Chinese coloring book with the manga influence. But those were the only ones. I'm going to grab my electric eraser. It's a simple one ordered on AliExpress, but it's comparable to the Derwent one. I have it for quite some time now, and I'm really pleased with how it works. So I've ordered myself a spare one already in lime green. Normally I'm a pink girl, but I thought you already have a pink, so let's be crazy and order another color. So I was saying that I'm very glad I've ordered this. The Julia Rivers books are also so very affordable. And most of them have the black paper on the reverse side, but this one is just white. That's a bit of a pity, but I'm always putting a spare piece of paper behind. And since I'm not coloring with markers now, it's no problem at all. And otherwise, even when you are coloring with markers, it's also not a problem. I went outside the lines again. So I'm very pleased with the skin tone. I think I've made the good decision with these three colors. And now for the scary part, because shadowing is always a bit scary, I've chosen a violet one, Iris Violet, V9, Vivitone, I think. Vivitone, is it correct? Yes, Vivitone, that's in the first set, the rainforest set. Yeah. So now I hope I'm going in very, very light-handed. And that's also necessary with Irojiten in general, because they are so hard. If you press too much, you are burnishing your paper already and erasing the tooth of the paper. And then it's very hard to blend an extra color on top of some others. So also with the first three colors I've used very light pressure. In the beginning I really couldn't work with the Irojiten pencils because I was totally applying them in the wrong way. And especially since I didn't use them a lot, I wasn't learning, but I've learned a lot already by using some other pencils too, and it's also because some people that have the Holbein or Holbein pencils, like Jen from Reading with Pugs and Sammy from Color and Chat with Sammy. I heard them say that, especially Jen mentioned that the Holbeins learned her how to layer and how to be patient about layering, and Sammy was a natural talent in layering already, and Jen learned it through her Holbein pencils, because she also discovered that you can't always do the same thing with every pencil. Every pencil has its unique capacities and its own qualities and work methods, and that's why I started doing different things with different pencils also. So in this case it's very important to be very light-handed. With Prismacolors you can be a bit more heavy-handed, but especially with harder leaded pencils, it's being careful. I'm doing too much shadowing on her cheek, I think, but we'll see later on. I'm going a bit more on her. This may be a bit darker. Now that we're coloring and chatting, how do you guys pick out your pencils? Do you have certain books? I'm just putting an example up here. For instance, the Jade Summer books, do you always use Prismacolors in those, or do you use other brands too? Or do you have books where you only use watercolor pencils in, like the Madria Trolle books or Hannah Carlson? Or can your coloring books or coloring book, can it be, or can it hold different kinds of pictures? I have a friend that who really wants to use a book particularly for her Inktense pencils, and I have the same book like she has, but I use everything in it. But how do you think about that? Do you color with the products that your heart desire at that moment, or are you also reserving some books for particular pencils? I think this lady's shading is okay. Now I have to look for a darker tone for her tongue. What am I going to pick? So these are my swatches. I don't know if I can get them on camera. No. I'm going to leave the camera like it is now, because otherwise I will get in trouble. I'm going over her eyes once more with a bit more pressure, and I'm wondering, am I going to put a white dot in it or not? Maybe a small one. I have a white Signo Uniball for that purpose. Just a tiny dot. Yep, it's better. Okay. I think I'm going to use from my Seascape set. That is the last set. I think that's volume 9 again. Yes. I'm going to use the Tyrian purple for her thumb. And then I have a black one in the ivory black one is in the rainforest set, so box 2. Yes. Yes, I've got the ivory black. I'm going to try to focus again. Ivory black here with me, but I have to sharpen it, and I hope it will not break. So far so good. And this one, yes, it's breaking. Yeah, okay. I'm going to remove my shavings from the sharpener. That's the noise you are hearing. Same. Finally, I'm going to stop before it's breaking again. Yes, I've managed to make a point. It's stupid just for this little space, but I really want to work accurate when doing such a tiny spot. Maybe I'll go over her eyes again with a bit of black to give it some depth and to make it more interesting. Okay, I'm thinking of putting a little bit of cedar, I think that it was here, because in my opinion she's a bit too pale. Okay, and then again with a bit of that iris violet to give the shadow. Yes, that's better. And then we are going to grab, I have a cherry red. Oh, I can use the cherry red for her tongue also. I don't need another color. I can use the cherry red, and I'm going to sharpen that as well. Okay. So this is also from the first set, the Pale Tone 1, from the Rainforest boxes. And she's going to have a red tongue instead of a pink one. Okay, and now that I'm working with that red, I think I'm going to make these little stitches red also. And will I make this red too? No, I'm going to wait. I think I will do that in a blue. And now, which color of hair am I going to give this lady? It's a manga lady, so I'm thinking a bluish tone maybe. I've got midnight blue and hyacinth blue. Maybe these two will work great together. Jay blue is also beautiful. I'm going for J blue. That's in the last set, so set 9. I'll have those boxes turned around. They're lying out of the J blue. That's this one. And the porcelain blue. That's in the second set, volume 6. Porcelain blue. So that's this one. Going to sharpen this one. Oops, sorry. And that's a nice long point. Okay. I'm thinking of using the darkest color first, so the J blue. Can it focus a bit? J blue is from DL, dull tone. The dull tones number 7. So I'm just putting the darkest color to start with here, and since it's kind of an sometimes I do my hairs like this and sometimes I do streaks, but since it's such a cute character it can be like comic style, I think, and it doesn't have to be, or she doesn't have to have real strokes of color on her hair. The pencils are really great on this paper. That's very nice to discover. That's why I like it to write down which pencils I use in which books, so that I know afterwards, after a few months or weeks, if it was pleasant to work with some brand or not. It's possible that on some parts of this picture I will grab for another brand, but if I find the right color combos or tones for the things I want to color, then I will stick to these pencils for now, I think. Put in here and here on the bottom a bit of the dark. Yeah, so too. And just like with the shadows and the light, I'm probably not always right where I do my highlights on the hair, and I'm even wondering if the light color is necessary, because I want to leave some white spots, but we'll see how that goes. It's just really coming out cute. And what I wanted to say about this book also is that in this case it's clear that she's going to lift my camera up a bit, and I hope I will make it justice. I'm going to put it down later on. It's clear that she's sitting in some kind of bug, and that there are small mini bugs, I think, are flying around. But on other pictures you really have to see very carefully what is going on, and I think it's very important to focus on little parts of your coloring in the other pictures. But that's part of the fun, I think, that you it's like a find and search, like where's that leg and where's the arm, or what's going on here and there. It's looking not that dark on camera, but it has a beautiful tone. To move it like this again a bit. Okay. I also have one darker blue, and that's indigo or midnight blue. I will go for the midnight blue. That's in volume 3, to give the darkest parts of the hair extra shading. Midnight blue, that's this one, and I don't even dare to sharpen this one because it's already short too. Not that as short as the cedar wood, but so I'm just going slightly into the most. It will not give too much detail, but a bit is okay too. It's probably not showing up on camera, that it gives an extra shadow. With this pencil I'm pushing a bit harder because of the weird point I'm having. And on these drawn lines also going in with a bit of pressure. Okay, again a bit here, and I think that's okay like it is now. Yes, that's maybe another interesting topic that also was mentioned in the other color and chat, that people work with color schemes or themes. I don't. I look at the picture and I can see a few parts of it colored in, but in this case in the case of this picture, I knew I wanted to color this specific one, but I didn't imagine beforehand that I would give her blue hair. I was thinking of doing these cracked wings with a kind of purple, so I think I'm going to do that, but for all the other details I didn't think it through beforehand. But now that I have colored her and her hair, and I forgot her eyebrows, I'm thinking of doing green and yellow combo to make her pop. For this part I'm not sure if I'm going to give her whole outfit the green and the pink, the yellow color, sorry. But I'll see how that goes when I have to tackle that. The little lady has an eyebrow now. Okay, good. So I will have to search for my colors now. I'm going to stop the video again so that my editing will be easier, I think, and it's also not too annoying for you hearing me rumbling around or searching for the right color combos. So I'm going to stop this video again and then return for a last part, and then I think I will call it quits for this color and chat. But you have seen me work on a skin again with some other pencils than my first How I Do video that were polychromos, and now the Irojiten ones. So I will see you again in a minute. Okay, here we are again. I've picked my colors for her clothes, and I'm going to do this little color in chestnut brown and maple sugar. They're all the 4 colors that I've picked are from the third set in the rainforest set, the third box. So it's chestnut brown for the darkest color on this part of her clothes, and then I will go in with maple sugar. So dull tone 2 and dull tone 4, and the green ones I will put aside. So I'm going to border, I'm going to wipe that blue away a bit. Okay, so I'm going in with a little bit of chestnut brown. If you hear background noise, it's my fan again, because it's again a hot day here in Belgium, and it's going to be hot for the coming 2 weeks. It's insane. We can have summery days here, but not around 30 degrees Celsius, and it's been going on for I think 3 or 4 weeks now. So it's tiring. Sorry for the bump. Now I'm going in with the maple sugar. It's a bit of a retro combination or a vintage combination, I think. I really liked how the swatches looked together. Although it's not very visible, the difference between those two. So I will have to go in again with the chestnut brown again. Okay, maybe I will try, because my curtains are closed. I will see how it goes when I open them, because the sun has set. Maybe it's better with some extra daylight. Yes, it's a bit more visible, I think. I'm going to put that to here. I couldn't do that beforehand because it was too hot, but now it's quite okay. And I'm going in with the same colors here on this part. And I'm still figuring out maybe this one too, and that the rest will be the green combo. And now again with maple sugar. And some extra darkness here in that small part. Okay. Now I'm doing this in the greens, and I will do that border in these two. And also a bit of brown here. Okay. And now I will go in with the darkest green I've chosen, the elm green, also for bordering a bit of her clothing here. And then I will go in with olive yellow for the lighter part of the green. It's a green yellow one. So this was the elm green. And I think I'm going to do these drops in a shade of blue, because I think I will put some stickles on it afterwards. And I've noticed that if you don't color in objects and use stickles, that you can see the white spots come through. So if you want an opaque color, it's better to give it a light shade of color first before using your stickles. I hope you don't hear my new neighbors. They're not wearing any in-house shoes, so when they run around it's quite noisy and I hate it. But yeah, what can you do? Okay, and now the olive yellow, and I hope I will get a nice contrast. It doesn't have to be too big of a contrast, but it may be visible that I'm working with two different shades. For me it's visible. Is it visible on camera too? I don't know. Some extra shading after using that olive green. Okay. And then this part will be the same. This will be all dark. Yeah, just a little bit. Whoops! And there goes my pencil. Another lead that is extra fragile now. I'm a specialist in dropping my pencils. No, that's not the case, but I did manage to drop my graphited pencil box twice already, but these are the only ones, and lucky for me I don't have breakages there. So I will grab that pencil back up. And then I can go back in. It did break, so I have to sharpen. Yeah, and now it's all gone, my point. Okay. So that was this part. This I have, that I might not, I have to remember that this is part of the bug. Okay, so it's this and that. I have to think, will I do the same colors or will I do the color of this part? Normally I'm not that quite of a thinker, but in this case I am. But I think I'm going for the chestnut brown and the maple sugar again, so that it doesn't become too green. Sorry if I'm a bit silent, but I don't always know what to say or what to tell. Maybe I can talk about my other hobby, and that is reading. I really love reading thrillers, especially Scandinavian ones, because they are set in very atmospherical settings. Most of the time it's snowy or gray or rainy, so the atmosphere is always very dark, not too dark, but yeah, it's I really like the atmosphere they bring and give. I like psychological thrillers, I like too. So I don't use the maple sugar here. The only thing I don't read are novels with love stories. They may contain a love story, of course, but not the typical yeah, here we call it stationsromannetjes, but with the prince on the horse and the kiss, and they live happily ever after. It's good for a Disney movie, but not in a book for me. It may contain a love story, of course, but I'm more the suspense and the thriller type of reader. I did enjoy a book by Jojo Moyes, where a guy who sits in a wheelchair meets his new housekeeper, and that they become friends, and that she wants to help him find the joy in his life back, because he can't walk, and he's paralyzed from his neck, or where his neck starts. That was a nice book, but that's not typical love romance in the type that I don't like. Jojo Moyes one I did like. And besides reading, I really love gaming too. Silent Hill is my favorite game of all time. I like Resident Evil too, but nothing can live up to my adoration for Silent Hill. Okay, that's that part. I really hope you guys like her so far. I do. I'm going to make this. Do I have my black here still? No, I did put it aside, I think. So I will do that part later on. And I think this is a blanket. So I'm doing this also in the brown and the maple sugar. What kind of hobbies do you have besides coloring, or is coloring your main hobby? It has become mine. When I got home from work, before I discovered coloring, I sat in my couch with my e-reader and read most of the time, or I was watching telly with my husband. But if it was something that I wasn't enjoying, I read. And now when he's watching something that it's not interesting for me, then I color. And I still read, but it's more in the morning or at the office at lunch break. And from time to time, when I don't have any coloring inspiration, but it's not often, then I read too in the evening. But other than that, I'm coloring. Or watching videos about coloring, book hauls, colors and chats, unboxings, finished pages. I really love seeing what people did over or during a month's time. But of course, book hauls and flip-throughs of books are amazing too. And I've discovered a new channel recently. It's run by Misa. She's from, I think, Australia or New Zealand. And she has a lot of books. Her book hauls are great and so enjoyable to look at. She has great flip-throughs. I did see this book on her channel too, so I really would recommend her channel. If you don't know it already, go and take a look. She really deserves some extra subscribers or extra viewers. It's she sounds really nice, really lovely, and yeah, I'm doing a shout out for her channel. I really enjoy every video she's uploading. And she also buys different kinds of books. That's also nice to see. And of course, also love to watch Coloring Queen, and Color in the Dark is also one of my favorites. But for the newer channels, Moimo, I think her channel is called. I will leave the description or a link in the info box below so that you can check that out. So this girl is colored. I'm liking her so far. I'm glad that she's turning out quite well with the Irojiten pencils, as well for her skin as for her hair. And I think I'm going to finish this video now. I'm not sure if I will color this further off camera or that I will leave it for a color and chat so that we can finish it together, although I don't know if many people of you have this book and have the Irojiten pencils, but that's no problem. You don't have to use or you don't have to own both of them. It's perfectly doable to color along with me on a whole different type of book, or just hear me doing my blah blah. I hope I'm not annoying anyone, that it's enjoyable to look at and to listen at, because sometimes I really don't know what I should talk about, but I think I've managed to make it a bit interesting today, at least I hope I did. I'm shading a bit extra in her hair. So yeah, I will see you hopefully the next time. I'm going to try to do my video editing on this phone, and yeah, let me know in the comments below if you would like to me to color it only on camera, or if it's not a problem that I color it off camera. So I'll look for your comments and see which option that you guys prefer. So I wish you all a very good evening. It's 8 p.m. here, and I hope you have a wonderful evening with lots of free time, relaxing time, coloring time, reading time, whatever, and we'll see each other soon. Bye bye.